God says this message is reaching you at the exact moment your heart needs it the most, because something has already been released in your name and heaven does not want you to miss it. God says you have been given a lot of money, but the blessing is spiritually time-sensitive. God is not threatening you, He is warning you with love so you do not lose what has already been prepared. God says that if you do not open your spirit today before 11 p.m., if you do not step into the faith that is being asked of you, you may miss an opportunity that was carved out just for you, something that has been delayed for years, something that your own prayers created a pathway for. But God says right now that nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected. You just have to trust God and pray. The blessing is already real. It is already written. It is already authorized. But God says your heart must stay awake and connected because the blessing is coming in a form you did not expect, from a source you did not imagine, and through a divine channel that has been quietly forming around you. God says that for too long you have been doubting whether your season would ever come. You questioned whether your breakthroughs were meant for other people and not for you. But God is saying today that this belief was only temporary and that the Spirit has been preparing you for a moment of receiving. God says that this message is not ordinary. And it is arriving at a moment in your life when the atmosphere around you is shifting. There is something big happening spiritually, but you may have felt it as anxiety, heaviness, or confusion. That is because blessings sometimes come wrapped in resistance, and the enemy tries to distract you or cloud your mind before something good arrives. But God says you have already overcome the distractions sent your way. This is why the money, the abundance, the opportunity has already been transferred into your destiny. God is emphasizing that you must not let fear or hesitation cause you to miss what is meant for you. Heaven is telling you, open your spirit. Open your faith. Open your willingness to receive. God says He has watched you struggle in silence. He has seen the nights where you could not sleep, the days where you were smiling on the outside but breaking on the inside. He saw the moments when you didn't tell anyone how lost you felt, and yet you still kept going. God says those tears did not fall for nothing. Every silent prayer you released carried weight in the spiritual realm. Every moment you whispered, "God, please help me," He heard you clearly. And now God says He is bringing you something that matches the level of your suffering, the level of your patience, and the level of your endurance. He is bringing restoration that will make the struggles of your last season look small compared to the blessings of your coming one. God says the money you have been given, spiritually and soon physically, is not just about wealth. It is tied to your purpose. You were meant to do more, be more, and rise higher than the environment you were raised in. God says your spirit is bigger than the limitations people tried to place on you. He says some people underestimated you because they could not see the size of the calling on your life. But heaven always saw it. God says you were never meant to remain where you were. You were meant to grow, expand, and step into abundance. Not only financial abundance, but emotional and spiritual abundance, God says this urgent message is reaching you because time is aligning. Doors that were locked for years are swinging open. People who once ignored you will be the same people who witness your elevation. God says He is preparing to surprise you in a way that will make you fall to your knees in gratitude. He is preparing to shock everyone who doubted what He could do through you. And He is preparing to bless you with something that was blocked before, not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was not ready. God says the deadline of 11 p.m. is not a punishment, it is a reminder that your faith must activate now, not later. God says you cannot stay asleep spiritually. You cannot continue to delay your own blessings by second-guessing the divine signs He is sending you. God says today is the day that something in your life breaks open. It is the day your spirit shifts. It is the day your path straightens. It is the day your destiny accelerates. You must trust Him now, because He is doing something behind the scenes that you cannot see yet. God says the money is already on its way. The miracle is already in motion. The blessing is already released. But receiving requires belief, and belief requires surrender. God says He knows how tired you are. He knows there were moments recently when you told yourself you couldn't take even one more setback. You've been worn out, drained, feeling like every time something good happens, something bad follows. God says that cycle is ending. A new chapter is forming around you, even if it feels invisible right now. God says this message is not an accident. It is a divine interruption. A moment where heaven steps into your timeline and shifts everything in your favor. God says the reason He is telling you this now is because the blessing is close. Very close. Closer than you realize. And sometimes, before a blessing arrives, the enemy sends chaos, confusion, and distraction to make you give up. God says do not give up. Do not doubt. Do not let worry steal what God is releasing. Your time is now. Your season is now. Your breakthrough is now. God says there are people who would be shocked to know how much He is about to bless you. People who saw only your struggles will now witness your transformation. God says your story is shifting from survival to abundance. From waiting to receiving. From praying to celebrating. God says your journey has been long, but the reward will be longer. He is not giving you temporary blessings, He is giving you permanent change. He is giving you stability where you once had instability. He is giving you clarity where you once had confusion. He is giving you peace where you once had fear. God says you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. Even when situations around you look unsure, God says you are under divine protection. He says angels are already surrounding you. Archangel Michael is clearing your path. Removing obstacles, dissolving negative energy, and guiding you toward the life you were meant to live. You are not alone. You have never been alone. God says the forces of heaven have been walking with you every step of the way. God says He is proud of you. Proud of how you kept your heart pure despite everything that tried to harden it. Proud of how you continued to care, continued to love, continued to hope, even when life bruised you. He says your good heart is the reason you are being blessed. Your kindness is the reason doors will open. Your courage is the reason abundance is flowing toward you. God says the money being released to you is symbolic of something even bigger. It signifies divine approval, divine protection, divine reward. The money is part of your restoration. It is God saying, your suffering season is over. It is God saying, I saw every moment you thought I forgot you. It is God saying, I am returning everything that was taken from you, times 10. God says do not be afraid of losing anything anymore. He says you are walking into a season where loss will no longer define your experience. Gaining will. Receiving will. Miracles will. You will rise in a way that shocks even you. God says blessings will come from places you never expected. Opportunities will appear without warning. People who owe you nothing will suddenly help you. And situations that once felt dead will come back to life. God says pray today. Talk to Him. Open your heart. Let Him inside the parts you have hidden from everyone. Let Him fill the spaces where fear has lived for too long. God says your life is about to accelerate, but your heart must be aligned with Him. He says that when you trust Him fully, everything unfolds smoothly. You will not miss out. You will not fail. You will not fall. God says your blessing is safe. Your destiny is safe. Your spirit is safe. God says you have until 11 p.m. because He wants your spirit awakened today, not tomorrow. He wants you to receive now. He wants you to step into faith now. He wants you to accept the abundance He is sending now. Heaven is ready. The blessing is ready. God is ready. And now, He is calling you to be ready too. God says take this message seriously. Not with fear, but with faith. God says everything is aligning for you. Everything is unfolding for you. The blessing is already yours. Just trust God. Just pray. And everything will fall into place exactly as it's meant to. God says this directly into the deepest part of your spirit, and He wants you to feel every word as if it is breathing into your life right now. God says, this message comes with urgency, with divine timing, with a sacred instruction that must not be ignored. You have been given a lot of money spiritually, prophetically, and energetically. And the door that is opening for you is time-sensitive. God says, if you don't open this message with your whole heart before 11 p.m., the blessing meant for you, the change meant for you, and the reward prepared for you may not reach you in the way it was destined. This isn't a threat, this isn't fear, this is divine timing. Heaven works on windows, and one of those windows is open above you right now. God says, open this quickly, open it with full trust, because you are standing at the edge of something that could transform your life completely. God says, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected. The angels have been watching over you even when you felt alone. Even when you didn't feel any movement, even when your situation looked silent. God says, trust me now, pray to me, because your prayer today activates the blessing attached to this message. God says that the money being released to you is not random. This is not a coincidence. This is something that heaven has been organizing for a long time. You have prayed for breakthrough, you have asked for help, you have cried silently, and God has seen every single tear. God says, do not for 1 second think that He forgot you. This is the moment where everything turns. God says, the blessing with your name on it has finally reached the front of heaven's system. Your file, your prayer, your name, everything has come to the front. And God says the reward is financial restoration, abundance, unexpected provision, and the kind of blessing that makes you finally breathe deeply after months or years of struggle. God knows you have been tired. God knows you have been carrying burdens you didn't tell anyone about. God knows the weight that sat on your chest every night. But God says, today, this message is meant to remove that weight. This message is meant to open the floodgates of favor. God says, there were times when people judged you, times when people questioned your decisions, times when people thought you were failing, but they never knew how much strength you had to use just to wake up and keep going. God says, heaven counted every moment of endurance you showed. Heaven counted every second you kept faith even when everything around you suggested you should give up. You didn't collapse, you didn't lose your heart, you didn't stop believing deep down, even if you doubted, even if you were scared, even if you felt broken, you still held on. God says, because you held on, this money, this blessing, this divine breakthrough is being released to you. God says, you have been rejected by people, but you were never rejected by heaven. You were overlooked by many, but never overlooked by God. He watched you grow, He watched you fight battles alone, He watched you walk through storms that would have destroyed other people. But you survived. And because you survived, a door that was shut for years is now opening. The door is financial healing. The door is opportunities that flow effortlessly. The door is unexpected good news. The door is the blessing that was held back because the timing wasn't right. But now, God says, the timing is perfect. God says, do not worry about the people who tried to stop your blessing. Do not worry about the ones who spoke against you, the ones who doubted you, the ones who turned their backs on you. God says, they are not powerful enough to block what heaven has written for you. Your life is not in their hands. Your future is not in their hands. Your breakthrough is not controlled by anyone except God. God says, the money that is being released is going to shock even you, because He is sending what you asked for and more. You thought you would receive a small blessing, but God says, the blessing is bigger than what you imagined, because you stayed faithful even when your heart was breaking. God says, your destiny cannot be delayed any longer. The stagnant energy around your finances is being broken. The spiritual blockage that once existed has been removed. Angels have been sent to clear the path in front of you. Archangel Michael stands near you right now, guarding your home, guarding your spirit, guarding your heart, guarding your future. Nothing in the unseen realm can stand against the divine instruction God has released. God says, you are safe. You are covered. You are protected. You are blessed. God says, the money that is coming is not dirty money, it's not negative, it's not from the wrong source. This is heaven's provision. This is God making a way for you. This is God restoring what you lost. This is God answering prayers you prayed years ago. This is God giving back everything the enemy tried to take from you. God says, open the blessing with pure intention. Trust Him. Believe Him. When you believe, you activate a spiritual flow that cannot be stopped. God says, there are people who never believed you would rise. There are people who underestimated you. There are people who thought you were weak. But they didn't know that you were chosen. Chosen for favor. Chosen for breakthrough. Chosen for miracles. Chosen for light. Chosen for abundance. God says, the reason your journey was so difficult was because your blessing is so great. The greater the blessing, the greater the preparation. Every trial shaped you. Every disappointment made you stronger. Every setback trained your spirit. You learned humility, you learned patience, you learned resilience, and you learned how to trust God even in silence. God says, today marks the moment when the silence breaks. Today is the shift. Today is the movement. Today is the beginning of divine release. God says, remember the time you thought nothing would ever change? Remember the time you felt completely alone? Remember the nights you cried because life didn't make sense? God says, He saw you each time, and He kept speaking to you quietly. Sometimes through your dreams. Sometimes through sudden thoughts. Sometimes through unexpected signs. You were never alone, not even once. God says, the money being released is not just for comfort, but for purpose. You are meant to build something. You are meant to rise higher. You are meant to step into a new season of growth. God says, this blessing is to elevate you, not just financially but emotionally and spiritually. You will no longer carry the fear of what if things get worse. Instead, you will live in the certainty that God is with you, guiding every step, protecting every plan, and blessing every move you make. The fear that lived in your mind for so long is leaving. The anxiety that didn't let you rest is dissolving. The pressure that kept you tense is disappearing because God is stepping in with His peace. God says, peace is coming to your home. Peace is coming to your heart. Peace is coming to your finances. Peace is coming to your future. You are not stepping into chaos, you are stepping into divine order. Everything that was tangled is being untangled. Everything that was uncertain is becoming clear. Everything that felt stuck is beginning to flow. God says, "Trust me. I am doing something behind the scenes that will make you thank me in a way you've never thanked me before," God says. You may think you are unworthy of this blessing, but heaven disagrees. You are worthy because of your heart, because of your compassion, because of your loyalty, because of your faithfulness, because of your sincerity. God says, you have a pure heart, and that is why He chose to bless you. Many people talk, but only few people have a pure heart. You are one of those chosen souls. You care deeply, you love deeply, you give deeply, and heaven sees that. God says, He is returning everything you poured out into others but never received back. God says, the blessing will not fail. The money will not delay. The breakthrough will not collapse. Your gift is yours. Your reward is yours. Your miracle is yours. Nothing and no one can take it. This message came at the exact moment it was meant to. And God says, you must open it with faith before 11 p.m., because the timing is divinely aligned. God says, breathe deeply. Feel your soul calming. Feel the presence of peace around you. Feel the angels protecting you. Feel heaven's energy touching your life. Feel the shift happening. You are safe. Nothing bad will happen to you. You are under divine protection. God says, focus on Him. Trust Him. Pray to Him. He is with you. He has always been with you. God says this is an urgent message only for you, and it is reaching you in a moment where your life is shifting in ways you do not see yet. God says, listen carefully, because the time is sensitive, the blessing is sensitive, and the window is not something that will stay open forever. God says, you have been given a lot of money, a divine portion that was written in your destiny long before you ever understood what miracles meant. But this gift is connected to obedience, timing, and trust. If you ignore the message, if you postpone it, if you tell yourself maybe later, the blessing will slip to another hour, another day, or even another person. God says, this is not fear, this is divine timing. Open this now because something is unfolding in your life that cannot wait. You need to understand the seriousness of the moment. God has been watching your tears, your sacrifices, your struggles, the things you carried alone when no one stood beside you, and because of that, heaven has moved something in your favor. A financial blessing, large, surprising, bigger than your expectations, has already been written in your name. But God says, you must open your spirit to receive it now. If you delay, you won't lose God's love, but you may lose the door that has opened just for this moment. God is telling you this with urgency because the spiritual transaction is already in motion. Angels have been assigned. Archangel Michael has been instructed to clear the obstacles that have stood against you for years. But even angels wait for your yes, your awareness. Your willingness to receive. God says, you have been given a lot of money, not from random chance, not from luck, not from accidents, but from divine orchestration. Somebody who spoke your name in a room of abundance didn't do it by mistake. Someone who remembered you didn't remember you by coincidence. God placed your name in the minds of people who are connected to your blessing. And the amount coming to you is not small. It is enough to change your environment, your situation, your burdens, your future decisions. But it requires you to open the message, to acknowledge the blessing, to step into the shift before 11 p.m. today. If you believe me, type Amen. God says, listen closely. Because this moment is not like the others you've lived through. This message is arriving in front of you not by coincidence but by divine timing, aligned perfectly with the pulse of the heavens, whispered into your life with urgency because something extraordinary has already been written with your name on it. This is not a mistake, not an accident, not randomness. This is your moment, the moment heaven has been preparing for you. And God says that if you are reading these words right now, you are already stepping into a miracle that has been assigned to your destiny long before you even knew how to ask for it. God says you've been given a lot of money, yes, a blessing that has been prepared, packaged, and placed in motion. But this blessing comes with divine timing. And heaven is warning you gently but urgently, open this message today, open your heart, open your faith before 11 p.m., because the window of release is sensitive, and if you delay, if you hesitate, if you let fear or confusion silence your spirit, the blessing may pass by without touching your life the way God intends it to. God says you must not miss this. Heaven is moving for you, and the angels are standing by your side, guiding you to receive what has your name on it. God knows how long you have waited. He knows how many days you have cried silently, how many nights you questioned your worth, how many times you thought blessings were for others and not for you. God saw the moments when you were generous even when you had little, when you kept hope alive even when your circumstances didn't change as quickly as you prayed. God saw the private battles you faced, the emotional storms you survived, and the times you held yourself together when no one else even knew you were falling apart inside. This is why heaven is not letting you miss this moment. God says you've been given a lot of money, not as a random stroke of luck, not as a reward from humans, but as a recognition from God that you have remained faithful even when life tried to break you. God says this blessing was released because something in the spiritual realm shifted in your favor recently. Someone spoke your name with kindness. Someone remembered you. Someone prayed for you without telling you. Someone mentioned you in a room you were not in. Someone somewhere decided to open a door for you. And God says your name began to glow in the divine records, calling forth a blessing that aligns with the purpose He placed in your soul. But blessings require obedience to divine timing. Heaven is whispering urgently, do not delay, do not overlook this, do not walk away from these words, because God says if you don't open this today by 11 p.m., the energy around this blessing may change, and the path that is aligned for you right now may shift into another timeline. God says to breathe for a moment and understand the seriousness of this spiritual moment. Angels have been guarding you. They have stood between you and trouble. They have blocked traps set against you. They have guided your footsteps even when you didn't realize it. But today, the angels are not guarding you from danger, they are guiding you toward abundance. God says you've already been given the blessing spiritually, you only need to open your heart and claim it on earth. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. You only need to trust God and pray to Him. God says the financial blessing is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not limited. It is substantial, powerful, and transformative because you have reached a point in your life where this blessing will not destroy you, it will elevate you. God says the pain you went through trained you. The heartbreak taught you compassion. The delays taught you patience. The rejections taught you wisdom. You have been matured, shaped, and refined. And now God says you are ready for a blessing that once would have overwhelmed you. You have grown into the person who can receive this abundance with grace, responsibility, and gratitude. God says that this money is connected to your destiny, to a doorway you have been praying for. For some, it will help heal family burdens. For others, it will help break generational limitations. For some, it will help you finally step into your purpose with resources, clarity, and courage. For others, it will release you from the stress that has been draining your energy for too long. God says this blessing is not coming to you because you begged for it, it is coming because God promised it, but heaven is urging you, do not doubt, do not question, do not hesitate. God says this moment is time-sensitive. When God gives you a divine window, you must step through it. When God calls your name, you must answer. When God reaches His hand toward you, you must lift your hand to receive it. God says, open this quickly, otherwise you will miss out, not because God wants to punish you, but because spiritual seasons shift, and when they shift, blessings move to those who are aligned. God says your heart is aligned right now. Your spirit is aligned right now. Your intentions are aligned right now. Your faith is aligned right now. The energy around you is aligned right now. But alignment must be met with action. This is why God is speaking urgently, softly, lovingly, but firmly. God says you are safe. No harm is coming to you. Nothing will go wrong with you. Heaven is surrounding you. Angels are encamping around your home. Light is covering your path. You are protected. But right now, more than protection, heaven wants you to receive. God is pouring into you. God is blessing you. God is elevating you. God is strengthening you. God is guiding you. God is opening the doors you thought were locked forever. God is clearing the way you thought was closed. God is removing the burdens that exhausted you. God is healing the wounds that broke you. God is restoring everything that was taken from you. God says your season of lack is ending. Your season of waiting is ending. Your season of confusion is ending. Your season of feeling forgotten is ending. God says the blessing coming toward you is big, bold, undeniable, and filled with divine favor. It will surprise you. It will comfort you. It will confirm your faith. It will remind you that God has never abandoned you, never turned away from you, never ignored your prayers. God says the reason this blessing is urgent is because you have already stepped into a turning point. Heaven has already shifted the atmosphere around your life. You may have felt it recently, a strange peace, a sudden intuition, a feeling that something is coming, a burst of hope you couldn't explain. God says that was the first sign. And this message you are reading right now is the second sign. The third sign, God says, will be the blessing itself. God says trust Him. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the signs you're receiving. Trust the inner knowing in your soul. Trust that this message found you at the exact moment it was meant to. Trust that today is not an ordinary day. Trust that before 11 p.m., something in the spiritual realm is waiting for your yes, your faith, your belief, your openness. God says, child, you've suffered long enough. You've waited long enough. You've prayed long enough. You've endured long enough. Now it is time for you to receive. The blessing is real. The money is real. The divine release is real. And God is watching closely to see if you recognize the importance of this moment. God says breathe deeply. Prepare your heart. Stay open. Stay faithful. Stay prayerful. Heaven is near you, speaking through these words, guiding you, reminding you gently that you are loved, chosen, protected, and destined for abundance. God says, today is your day. Don't miss this moment. Don't let doubt steal what God has prepared. Don't allow fear to silence what God is releasing. God says, open this fully. Receive it. Believe it. Trust it. God will be with you. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. And heaven says again, open this now, before 11 p.m., because your blessing is already on the way. God is speaking to you in this moment because He has watched you quietly carry a weight that no one else has seen. You move through your days with strength, but God sees the burdens behind your silence. And today, right now, He has chosen to break that silence with a divine message that carries urgency, protection, and an unexpected blessing that has already been assigned to your name. God says, you have been given a lot of money, a blessing prepared long before you even prayed for it. A blessing heaven has sealed for you. But I must warn you, if you do not open this message today by 11 p.m., you will miss the moment that was crafted for your elevation. God says, I do not want you to miss it. I do not want you to doubt it. I do not want hesitation to stand between you and the abundance that is already yours. You have been praying for change, for breakthrough, for a sign that something is finally shifting in your life, and today God answers that prayer by sending this divine urgency into your hands. You are reading this because heaven wants you to see what your spirit has been sensing for weeks. God has seen the nights where you wondered if things will ever get easier. He has seen your patience, your kindness, your heart that still chooses faith even when everything around you feels uncertain. And because of your faith, because of your endurance, because you did not give up, God says, you have been given a lot of money. The blessing is real. It has already been approved. But your action, your obedience, your belief right now is the key to unlocking what belongs to you. God wants you to understand that nothing in your life has been random. Every delay, every closed door, every disappointment was secretly preparing you for the moment that is coming into your hands now. God says that the financial blessing prepared for you is not ordinary. It is not something small or temporary. This is something that will change your life, something that will shift your atmosphere, something that will bring stability, peace, and divine elevation. God says, this is not just money. This is restoration. This is compensation for everything that was taken from you. This is repayment for the pain you endured quietly. There were times when people underestimated you. Times when someone spoke about you in ways that were not true. Times when others took advantage of your goodness, believing that God was not watching. But God says He saw it all. He saw the unfairness, the betrayals, the struggle, the moments where you questioned your worth. And because He is a God of justice, He has decided that it is time to lift you. Time to honor you. Time to bless you in a way that will silence every doubt you ever had about yourself. God says, this blessing has been released into your destiny, but you must open it now. The timing is divine. The window is short. By 11 p.m. tonight, everything will align for you if you respond with faith. God says you are safe. You are protected. You do not need to fear anything that tries to distract you or confuse you. The enemy has tried to make you doubt your worth. The enemy has tried to make you believe that nothing good ever lasts for you. But God says that season is over. Your breakthrough has already started. Something is shifting around you, something spiritual, something powerful. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but your spirit has already felt the change. You have been sensing that something big is coming. That sense was not random. It was God preparing you for this moment. God says, you have been given a lot of money, and it is yours because heaven trusts you. Heaven has watched your heart. Heaven has seen your humility. Heaven has seen how you treat people with kindness even when you receive none in return. God says you are favored because you carry a heart that is pure, a heart that forgives, a heart that still prays even when you are hurting. That is why you have been chosen for this blessing. God wants you to understand that this message reached you today for a reason. There were many moments where this could have passed you by. There were many distractions that could have kept you away from it. But God made sure this message found you. He guided your steps, your thoughts, your timing, so that you would open this today. God says, if you open this with belief, if you receive this with trust, the blessing assigned to your name will not pass you. God knows that you have been asking for a miracle. A financial miracle. A breakthrough that wipes away stress. A blessing that gives you the freedom and peace you have longed for. God says He is not only giving you what you asked for, He is giving you even more. He is giving you stability, opportunities, favor, and elevation. He is giving you abundance that stretches beyond your imagination. God says that this financial blessing is not coming from a single source, it is coming from multiple unexpected directions. People, opportunities, decisions, and situations that you never thought would bless you will suddenly turn in your favor. God says, I am aligning things behind the scenes. I am touching hearts. I am opening doors. I am arranging conversations. I am moving things in your favor. You may not see it yet, but the movement has started. The blessing you are about to receive is part of a divine plan that has been unfolding silently. God says that your life is about to shift, and this shift will be permanent. There have been moments where you felt forgotten. Moments where you questioned if God remembered you. But today God reminds you that He has been with you all along, watching, guiding, protecting. He has kept you safe from situations that were not meant for you. He has shielded you from people who would have harmed your spirit. He has removed people from your life because their presence would have blocked your blessing. God says every absence was protection. Every delay was preparation. Every hardship was shaping you for the blessing that is coming now. God says that the money assigned to you will come in a way that surprises you. It will not require struggle or fear. It will come with clarity, peace, and divine timing. God says, you are safe. Nothing will go wrong. I am with you. I am guiding you. I am opening this door because you are ready for it. There is someone you do not even realize, who has been observing your life, your kindness, your resilience. This person has been moved by something you did, something small that you may not even remember, but it touched them deeply. God says that your kindness has created blessings that are returning to you multiplied. The money coming to you may be connected to someone who remembers your goodness, someone who feels guided to help you, someone whose heart God has touched. God says He is sending people into your life who will support you, uplift you, believe in you, and open doors for you. He is removing people who bring confusion and replacing them with people who bring clarity. He is removing people who bring doubt and replacing them with people who speak faith. He is removing people who drain your spirit and replacing them with people who strengthen it. God says the blessing coming to you is so large that it will change the way you see life, blessings, and yourself. You will look back on this moment and realize that everything you went through was leading you here. Every trial, every setback, every heartbreak was shaping your spirit to receive something big. God says the financial blessing coming to you is meant to break generational patterns. It will not only bless you, it will bless everyone connected to you. It will bring healing. It will bring restoration. It will bring freedom from stress. It will bring a new chapter filled with peace and success. God says, do not fear. Do not doubt. You are safe in my hands. Nothing will go wrong. You are protected. I will walk with you into your blessing. God wants you to know that the moment you choose faith over fear, everything begins to shift. Heaven is waiting for your agreement. Heaven is waiting for your yes. Heaven is waiting for your belief. Tonight by 11 p.m., something spiritual will align for you. God says that this time is important. This is a window of divine activation. When you respond with trust, the blessing will be released fully. God says that this message is not a coincidence. It is not random. It is a divine appointment between you and heaven. God says, open this with faith. Receive it with trust. The money is yours. The blessing is yours. The miracle has already begun. And as you read these words, heaven is watching your spirit open, your faith rise, your heart align with what God is giving you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. God is with you.